Warning, this content may be disturbing to some audiences. Subscribe, if you dare. Installing Bitcoin miners on all the computers in a video editing lab. Hey everybody, welcome to ANECDOSED. People ask Reddit. Expelled college students of Reddit, why are you expelled? Number 1. Commenter. I went to a private Christian university, and I have a friend who got expelled for supposedly exorcising a demon out of someone in the middle of a wide open courtyard. Person B. So easy to get expelled from a Christian college. I was almost expelled for drinking one beer when I was 21. Only reason I didn't get expelled was that I admitted to it before I got busted and a larger issue arose and made my offense look trivial. 2 kids a couple of years before me got expelled because as they were traveling back to school from a weekend at home, they were caught in a snowstorm and had to spend the night in the car. Because they spent the night without a chaperone, they were expelled. Number 2. I unintentionally got another student expelled. We were critiquing websites we had built when I noticed one that looked exactly like mine with a few tweaks. I popped open the source and noticed it was a line-for-line copy of my code with a few changes to the CSS. I brought it up to the professor to protect myself in case he noticed them, though I doubt I would have been suspected. Mine was more cohesive. The changes he didn't make the site appealing. Anyway, apparently it was his 3rd time plagiarizing after twice going on trial with the school. If you don't get expelled then, a 3rd time is the nail in the coffin. Number 3. I spent too much time drinking and not going to class. I was a junior with a 1.6 overall GPA. University said they didn't need my ilk around there and would open my spot for someone who would appreciate it. This got my attention. I went to the dean and talked with him for a couple of hours trying to get back in. He said no, 19 out of 20 of you guys go back to doing the same thing. I told him I would be the exception. He gave me another chance. From then on out it was 4.0 every semester. I finally got my GPA up over 2.5 so I could graduate. I made sure and went back to the dean's office to thank him and tell him that I was that 1 out of 20 that made it. Number 4. Commenter. Installing Bitcoin miners on all the computers in a video editing lab. Person B. I did the same thing with Kinshi Labs. Got told to go see the admin so figured I'd been rumbled. Went through the department rules ahead of time and discovered that if it was educational it was okay, so put together a big defense on how much I learned. Walked in and before I said anything all I got was "Is it all removed now? Cool. You can go." Person C. Someone set up a mining program on our university's supercomputer to run in its downtime. I can't even imagine the kind of GH it would be reaching. That thing had unthinkable amounts of GPU power. He got caught, obviously. It was a Tier 2 supercomputer, meaning it was used by academics all over the country to run simulations. It was monitored constantly. Number 5. I was making a search engine for our school teacher evaluation page. It absolutely blew up in popularity and a large portion of the school was using it, about 5,000 views per day. Essentially it was like rate my professors except it used the evils that they force students to do at the end of the class's data. I also added features that made it more desirable to students. It became so popular that it was showing up on the front page of Google for certain teacher names. Some of those teachers had low ratings and got pissed off and complained. I had unintentionally violated IP laws because the evaluations were under password protections and my site was not. The only reason I didn't get expelled was because the dean of my department had my back. He did research and concluded the information should not have been private in the first place, then sent a public information request to make it so my project did not break the law. I definitely had people asking for my expulsion for a scary amount of time. Number 6. I got thrown out after I graduated from a master's degree program. The teacher asked me out for drinks when I asked to talk about one of my papers. I turned him down. I had to take a class with him in my next to last semester and he tried to throw me out for plagiarism. I tried to press harassment charges and the ombudsman talked me out of it by saying I would be stuck in his class if I pressed charges. The ombudsman asked to contact administrators at the school and urged me to get an incomplete in the guy's class and just graduate next term. After graduation I am getting ready to go on job interviews and I receive a letter telling me I have to enroll in 4 courses and get A's to offset the F the teacher in question wants to give me. I follow up and the teacher, who is now the chair of the program, elects himself my academic advisor and takes over the situation. He fakes my grades and tells me I have 6 weeks to complete the entire course all over again. He tells me if I do my best he will make it possible to graduate as it's mathematically impossible. I can't complete the work in time and he throws me out. I'm given permission to reapply and soon it becomes apparent they are not going to let me in to fix the situation. I contact the graduate department and meet with their legal counsel. I show them the faked grades, explain the rule violations and inform them of my having reported the guy. They tell me to try to work with the program again and then they will intervene. The program refuses any solution involving my readmission. The graduate dean allows me to file academic grievances and rules that there are lots of things wrong but does nothing about them. He concludes by telling me I can either get readmitted or give a replacement course via transfer. I take the course and submit it. The graduate dean says they can't accept the course if I can't get enrolled. Dean rules the matter reviewed and closed. I sue the school alleging unjust enrichment. I provide all of the documents and records as it was all conducted via email and I have my student folder. These get certified via discovery. The school evokes sovereign immunity and says that since the fraud and negligence happened more than 2 years before I filed, they are immune to prosecutions. Judge agrees. I file an appeal. As of August of this year, it will be 10 years. Number 7. Commenter. My roommate got expelled for basically never going to class, not even when there was an important exam. He spent all night smoking weed, with me, and playing video games, not with me, and then slept all day until about 5 p.m. Like I would wake up, go to my 8:30 lecture, get lunch, go to lab 2 to 5, then come back to my room and my roommate was still sleeping. I found out the following summer that he had gotten a letter from the university asking him not to come back. Last I heard of him, he had enrolled at a commuter school, where he made the dean's list. Person B. I was very much the same. I was cripplingly depressed, and basically seeked instant gratification all the time because I didn't care if I made it past 25. The main problem for me was that I felt inadequate and undesirable to women, and thought that I was doomed to die alone. It's weird what kind of tricks your mind plays on you. I see a few comments here blaming the weed, or video games, or whatever. Maybe in some cases, but I feel they are symptoms of a larger mental deficiency. My leaving school was a mutual agreement between me and the dean of students. I got a physical labor job and buried myself in it. I got a therapist which helped me get on my feet enough to help myself. I enrolled in a school closer to home, and reconnected with my old friends who had all graduated by then. And now I'm happy, successful in my career, and married. My college vampire days were dark times, but to me they were critical in shaping who I am as an adult. I'm not thrilled with all the choices I made, but I wouldn't go back and change them now if I could. Person C. My sister got expelled because her first year all she did was smoke pot and skip class. Got nearly all F's and was expelled. My half-brother got expelled for almost exactly the same thing. Meanwhile I skipped class all the time, but only used drugs a tiny bit and kept my shit together enough to make sure I got an A 90% of the time. Ditto my wife who smoked pot every day, but didn't skip class. I think pot can be fine used responsibly, but potheads are a real thing and problem with the drug. It drives me nuts when people act like it is totally benevolent. I agree it is no worse than alcohol, but people who are getting hammered every day are also making a huge mistake. Number 8. Expelled because my GPA dropped below the competitive level for the engineering school at my college. I was given the option of transferring to a different school. They recommended I go into the humanities, or be expelled. Well, thankfully I had a job from the previous summer that was willing to hire me full-time before this happened, so I took the expulsion and went to work full-time. Since then, I've gotten my certifications and work in the trades doing fairly well for myself. So, yay! I left with a 2.9 GPA. I needed to maintain a 3.25 in order to stay in the program I was in, as it was also providing a scholarship. Couldn't afford school without it. I went into HVAC in the trades, with an emphasis on programming. Some people just aren't meant for university, not saying they're not smart. For instance, I graduated high school valedictorian, with a 4.45 GPA. Some brains just aren't set up to be sitting learning at a desk for 4+ years. There's a stigma that it's a lower class job, but don't let that stop you. I paid off the student debt I had within a year and a half of working, and I'm looking to purchase my first house. The trades, assuming you get technical training, or go into a highly sought trade, pay extremely well. I make a little over $48K a year after being in the trades for a little over 3 years. And that's still as an apprentice. Also, not bashing the humanities one bit. My brother went that route, and he's one of the most intelligent people I know. I just have a mechanically inclined mind, and it would have been wasted going that direction. Number 9. I had a friend who skipped all classes and failed everything because all he wanted to do was play League of Legends. He got a warning that if he didn't get his grades up he would be suspended for a year. He got suspended. When he went back to the school a year later, the same thing happened again. Now he can't go back to that college again. Number 10. Currently I am aware of a group of international students getting expelled from my school. They've been whispering to each other during exams in another language, and as luck would have it my professor happens to speak that language, and has been slowly building a case against them without their knowing it. The kids somehow also got the solutions to every homework and exam last semester, which is very similar to what we've been assigned this semester. However, the kids are so effing lazy they blindly copy whole solutions, not realizing numbers are different, sometimes units are metric and they answer in English, and one problem asked for something completely different than they solved for using the exact procedure to solve last semester's homework. They're absolutely F and I'm kinda excited to see it. One of them had a 3.75 GPA and was on the verge of being auto-admitted to our MS/BS program. He's probably been cheating his whole college career. We're 2 semesters away from graduation. Plot twist, the advisor to that program is the instructor that is currently building the case against them. So basically that guy is mega F. Professor is a savage. He's been grading all their homework and exams like everything was fine, and one day unleashed a dossier of bitch justice to come. Make sure to share your personal story in the comments below and have the opportunity to be featured in a future video. Also, if you like these topics, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification button to continue seeing more content like this every day. See you next time.